Rogue Media Music. Keep the music playing.
Welcome to Behind the Wheel with Alvacado.
Welcome to Behind the Wheel with Alvacado. I'm Jim Alvarado, a.k.a. Alvacado. We're in the studio today. Please help me welcome Jon Stork.
How you doing?
John, it's a pleasure, man. It's been a while since I've seen you.
It has, man. It's good to be catching up.
You know, I was just talking to you earlier in the lobby, and I think the last time you and I saw each other was a very unique experience.
It was.
I was driving our tour bus back when Mr. Niemeyer and I had the Sapphire Blue tour bus, and we were out on tour with Curtis Grimes, and believe it or not, Luke Prater was his band. Luke and his brother Blake were in a town called Immigrant, Montana, out in the middle of nowhere.
It's about that big.
About this big.
It's got like a general store and a bar.
But one of the coolest places to ever play if
Hands
you get a
down.
chance to play it, because the stage overlooks the beautiful Yellowstone Mountains. And there's nothing better to be on a performance out in the middle of nowhere and seeing the Yellowstone Mountains.
I would have a hard time if you haven't even just gone through that area. Go through the area. Playing it would be amazing. Just going and visiting is incredible.
And that's how I found it, because I was with Curtis Grimes. We had just gotten there. We got the bus staged up, and they were doing some unloading or looking around. And this car pulls up, and we're like, who in the heck is this guy pulling up, or who's these people? And we thought, well, maybe somebody who came early wanted to say hi to Curtis Grimes. And then Jon Stork pops out of this car, and I'm like, I said, John?
On the other side of the world.
And John looks at me, he says, Jim, what are you doing here? He says, I said, fancy meeting you here. He goes, well, dude, I was just driving by and I saw a tour bus. I didn't know who it was. And there's not many tour buses in these parts. So I had to stop and figure out who in the heck is in this tour bus over here at this little hole-in-the-wall bar. And come to find out, it was you and Curtis Grimes.
My wife was so... We were on our way to the next spot, so we typically go travel a couple weeks out of the year, go camping, only up north, of course, because you can't camp down here during any of the hotter months.
No, it's too hot.
It's like going outside saunaing. But we passed up the bar, and I saw your bus, and I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I know at least who owns that bus, or who might be driving it. We turned around. She was so mad. She was like, I don't want to stop. If you stop, you're going to be there for an hour. So
we weren't there that long.
We weren't there that long. I had to get back. She stayed in the car to get me back faster. But no, we ended up turning around and pulling up and seeing
the
Curtis's
odds of
guys.
seeing Jon Stork out. He was just doing a little vacationing with his wife. They were going to go do a little whitewater rafting, I think is where they were headed down to.
Yeah.
And, man, just a cool place. So Immigrant, Montana was the last time I seen you.
That's
and
been
you've done
years.
Since then, dude, you have blossomed into a amazing singer-songwriter. I mean, you were good back then, but you were just getting started.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Man, you know, we're talking about songwriting and experiences and writing from those experiences and not just making stuff up as you go. And there's so much of what I grew up doing and what I grew up around that's still rooted in not every song, but so many of the songs I write. Stuff from going out on those trips and just kind of filling the cup back up. Kind of getting connected back out in the middle of nowhere and being in nature.
That to me is what a songwriter should be all about, is taking what you experience and turning that into songs, because as us listeners, we hear those songs and like, hey, I relate with that.
Yeah.
I put myself in that position, or I know what you're talking about or singing about, because I'm going through the same thing right now.
Yeah.
And to find out some of these songwriters don't even have that aspect in mind when they're writing these songs. Like, I was interviewing with Jesse Robb Jr. the other day, and he was telling me sitting on the porch wasn't him sitting on the porch drinking a beer. You know, I'm like, don't tell me that. I want to remember it because now you're ruining the song because I'm seeing you sitting on the front porch
Hey.
drinking a beer waiting on your buddies to come around.
But I mean, I will say, when you say that, the first thing I picture is Jesse sitting on a porch. So
You can see him doing
the
it.
imagery is there.
Yeah. But he said some old boy just came into he had a writing session. Like you get to go to Nashville and y'all do these writing
Yeah.
sessions. And I'm learning more about writing sessions, about how they become. And it's so amazing how these songs come out just by one word. Somebody can throw a word at you and then
It's off to the races.
Off to the races we
Yeah,
go.
it's the favorite thing that I've figured out with being blessed to write with some seasoned guys up there that have been there for decades, that have written I don't know how many songs that you and I would both know if we just went down the list. Nobody touches a guitar before we sit down and just talk.
Yeah.
And that's where that's where all the songs you still know
Come
from back in the day and that are still relevant and still hold their weight now. That's where those songs start. And it might have come from a conversation at the diner, but when those guys sit down, whether it's one on one or 2, 3, 4 of them, that's what they do. And that's where the real ideas stem from, is conversation. And if you listen to, you pick a song, The Chair, it's conversation. Yeah. It's conversation, and that conversation is what I think draws people into a song that's rooted that way.
Well, you mentioned The Chair. I mean, Dean Dillon is probably one of the best singer-songwriters out there in the country music business, other than the one I just met not too long ago named Bernie Nelson. I mean, I never heard of Bernie Nelson, but I've heard all of his songs, which is incredible. Hey, getting back to your music, congratulations on all your latest number ones.
Thank you.
Everything you're touching is turning into a number one song.
I appreciate it, man. It's just happy to be here.
I mean,
still just happy to be here.
You came from where you came from, and you turned into a radio cowboy, and that radio cowboy launched your career, I think. That
it was
opened the eyes of a lot of people.
It was very. I was fortunate to put that out when we did, and circumstances and everything, and getting it up off the ground kind of before everything shut down in 2019, 2020 was a blessing, because if that wouldn't have happened,
the doors wouldn't have opened. Have opened
different doors and whatnot wouldn't have opened. I'd probably call them windows more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
You got to climb through a few, but
yeah, when you slam a door, a window pops open a little bit.
I've been real good at.
I lived in mobile homes all my
window.
life,
Yeah.
When you slam a door, something else pops up.
But
not because it's supposed to.
just
the pressure of a door slamming.
It's sometimes it is supposed to, man. And I think it's just part of the journey. We were talking about Sonny Throckmorton this morning on my drive in. I was on the phone with a friend, and Sonny gave up and then left Nashville. And I think it was in the 80s. I can't remember which year. Came back to Texas and stopped writing. Gave up on songwriting. And I think that year that he took off, he had over 100 of his songs cut.
Wow.
And they called him and said, hey, we're running out of your songs. We need you to come back to town and write more songs. And, it's just...
happens.
It happens. And I'm nowhere near that or anything along those lines, but I think that drives a lot of us and just kind of keeps you showing up, keeps you hungry, and keeps fire in your eyes for the song, because it doesn't matter if excuse my language here, but it doesn't matter if Nashville or Austin fell off the map tomorrow.
Right.
Because there would still be a song.
There has to be a song.
It all begins with a song. If there's no song, we don't have genres. We don't have this.
Right.
And I think a lot of people forget that, especially now when it's so disposable.
Wow.
Vince Gill said it. and I can go buy a ringtone of a fart right now. Right now, you can go buy a ringtone of a fart for 99 cents.
Yeah.
And right now, you can go buy a Vince Gill song for 99 cents.
Which one would you rather have?
I would rather have the
Vince Gill song.
The Vince Gill song. Yeah. Good choice.
Yeah. I
but
don't need a ringtone of that.
It's disposable. And the way that he put it should be pretty eye-opening for some people, but you used to have to go out. You used to have to make an effort to make a connection with an artist that you might not have even got to shake hands with, but a connection somehow nonetheless.
Right.
And now you don't have to. So there's no work involved. There's no, you don't have to put in any footwork to go get a poster, to go to a show, to go buy a ticket. So it's disposable. There's no, you didn't have to do anything for it. So tap of a button or anything along those lines. That's why those songs still stand, because not only were they able to stand on their own, but the people that found those songs had to go and find them and hold on to them and put a little effort into it, and spend their hard-earned money. And not to say people don't do that nowadays, but there's a huge disconnect on how the bacon's made.
And I think it's coming back around to the old original ways of doing things. The old 70s and 80s style country's coming back.
Nothing goes out of style. It just comes back around.
Yeah, it's about what's popular now. Mm-hmm. And what's popular now, I want to hear one of your songs.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Hey,
I'm going to let you pick them
we'll
all.
sit here and talk all day.
And we will. Don't think we're not going to. And plus, I want to hear some stories about your road. That's what Behind the Wheel's all about. We got to tell some off stories. What do you want to sing for us this morning?
Well, I'm going to play the newest one we've got out on the radio right now. And this came from real life. And not all songs happen this way, but there was a gas station, Food Mart, general store. That was Beasley Food Store in the town I grew up outside of. We used to go get, they sold milk, eggs, bread, stuff like that.
Beer, bait, and ammo.
Beer, bait, and ammo, and that was it. And so we used to go get sodas and whatnot. I used to ride my horse up to the gas station. Like, it was a few miles down the road. And this group of gentlemen used to sit in there in the morning. These old boys would sit in there and drink their coffee in the morning and talk about price of beef, crops, to who left who.
With a cup of coffee.
With a cup of coffee, just sitting there at the table and some chairs in the middle of this gas station. And
that's called good old boys.
Good old boys. Some old boys. They're sitting there, and I heard it when I was, 10 to 12, somewhere around there. Can't put my finger on it, but it just stuck into my head. And one of them said, as we were checking out, and I was just kind of looking back at him, man, so-and-so left so-and-so here. I told him, I guess you ain't never seen a heartbreak, because I called that one as soon as she moved to town. And I thought, I got to write that down. I got to write it. And I never wrote it down necessarily, but it always stuck in my head. It was just in the back, in a filing cabinet with a little bright colored tab on it. It just always hung around. And the friend of mine I wrote this song with, I was like, hey, I've been beating my head up against the wall here. I've got this. What do you think? We started writing on it. He didn't like it. He didn't want me to cut it. That's one of my favorite songs to play live. It's nothing crazy, but...
Dude, it's one of my favorite songs.
Thank you very much.
That you have written.
Thank you very much.
And you've written some really good ones.
Appreciate that. So, this is Never Seen.
I love it.
She's as cool as the horns on a Cadillac hood. She can stop you on a dime, break your neck and make you turn around and look. You can bring her into church, you can take her home to mama. Good luck keeping her around if you're thinking that you're gonna. I guess you never seen a heartbreak I guess you never made a mistake. I guess you never seen the sunrise on a pair of tail lights and learned the hard way. I guess you never seen a heartbreak. She probably told you that she loved you, and she always will. Now you're talking front porches and a house up on the hill. She got you wrapped around her finger and waiting by the phone. Oh, but bless your heart if you don't know she's already gone. I guess you never seen a heartbreak. I guess you never made a mistake. I guess you never seen the sunrise on a pair of tail lights and learned the hard way. I guess you never seen a heartbreak. If you haven't seen this live, you gotta come catch it.
I need to.
Guess you never seen a heartbreak. Must have never made no mistakes. You never seen the sunrise on a pair of tail lights as she rolls away. I guess you never seen a heartbreak. I guess you never made a mistake. I guess you never seen the sunrise on a pair of tail lights and learned the hard way. I guess you never seen a heartbreak. Oh yeah. I guess you never seen a heartbreak. Oh yeah.
Jon Stork, never seen, baby.
Yes, sir.
One of my, so when you said you've never seen this live, you need to come see us live. Do that. There must be something special right about there.
It's just that I'm extremely fortunate. I've been blessed with a great band and just a great group of guys.
So how many guys do you have in the band now?
There's 5 of us on stage, so we got 5-piece band on stage. We got organ, piano, 2 guitars, drums, and bass, and then I stand in the middle and
Play acoustic?
Yeah, and just dance around a little bit.
With your acoustic guitar. But I don't think I've seen you perform. It's been a while, dude. It's been a long time.
Been a little while.
And I need to get to a show.
Yeah,
and
man.
You
It's
have
fun.
some shows coming up, right?
Yeah, we've got a few coming up this month and gearing up into the rest of the year. I've honestly been under a rock.
Hiding,
just writing songs, just living. I've got a 2-year-old, and man, I'm fortunate to be able to stay at home and just soak up what she's doing and when she does it.
Well, you have to. I mean, you don't want to miss the first steps,
No.
miss the first crawls, the
Hey,
first of all this.
I missed a lot the first year, and it's all in God's time. Honestly, where I'm at, what I'm doing. Sitting and writing more and playing a little less and just kind of, this is, in the past 9 years, this is the most I've sat still, and I needed it. I needed to kind of take a breath, take a step back, take a breather, and man, it's been amazing.
Just to get to what got you. I mean, because a lot of people don't realize we do what we do to spend more time with our family. But because we do what we do, we don't get to see our family that much. And if you don't watch out,
they can bite you.
What we do will consume our life.
Yeah.
And if we don't be careful, like when I'm not driving for William Clark Green, which you probably didn't even know I drove for him, but I've driven for Randy Rogers' band. I've driven for Wade Bowen. I've driven for Josh Abbott band. Yep. When I was off from William, that was all last year. This year is a total different aspect because I realized, you know what? When I'm off, I'm going to be off.
Yeah.
Well, now look at me. I'm doing a podcast,
Yeah.
so I'm not really off.
It's never.
But I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm in my hometown. This is where the recording studio is, and so for you guys to being on the road like that, man, and to having to, because when you're not on the road and you're not at home, you're in Nashville, or you're at some other kind of writing retreat that takes you away from your family and your life, and that's hard on you guys, especially for a young marriage, a young couple, and you're not old yet.
Man, I'm extremely thankful. My wife, my girlfriend at the time, and if you listen to that back catalog that's been released, you'll hear some songs about her, the good ones. She was there before I jumped into it, and I tell people all the time that she really was the tipping point. I traveled around the country. I was working different jobs and whatnot, and I felt like I was supposed to do this. And so I gave up what I was doing, came home, and I was starting to dabble into it, and she just kicked me in the back, and that was it. And so I've been extremely thankful and fortunate that she was there from the beginning of it, because I've seen it happen different ways,
Right.
and it doesn't always end up where I'm at right now. And she's still helping run the whole thing, and she gives her 2 cents on songs, and she says she doesn't write songs, but that girl's a songwriter. She's a listener.
She
and that's
doesn't
how I
write
know.
songs, but I write songs about her writing songs.
Hey,
you know.
I'm telling you, it's funny. She'll walk out and she'll drop a line here, or you should say this, and then just kind of.
So the song "Never Seen" was on your latest album, or is that just single releases?
So
are
that
you
was
doing?
actually yeah. So I've been releasing singles just because
Well, a lot of people do that.
a lot of people are doing it, and
albums cost too much money to produce a whole album that people don't even want to hear the whole album. They just want to
No.
hear a couple singles.
they can go to their favorites, and you know, that's, again, nothing goes out of style. It just comes back
Right.
around.
Right.
I'm probably saying that wrong. If I am, put it in the comments below.
Yeah.
You can send me a message.
We're out of style being out of style.
Exactly. So I'm coming back.
We're so
in,
out of style, we're coming back in
I'm
style
coming,
again.
Exactly. All
Daryl
right,
Dodd
so,
said that one time.
You know, that it's coming back. Concept albums are coming back, which
Yeah.
that wasn't a thing. It hadn't been a thing for a good while. Singles were the thing, and that was 60s. You know, 50s and 60s when people were buying 45 singles.
45, yeah. You see
Just
records all the
singles,
time.
just-
You can't find a record, a 45 at
Oh,
all.
I've got a pretty good little stack of them
Do
at
you?
home.
They're not scratched or
Nope.
ruined?
No, I was just went through some last night, but it's a cycle, and singles have been big for the last, I don't know how many years, but before that it was.
Records are
10.
making a big comeback.
They don't have CD section at Walmart anymore,
No.
but they got a record
They got
section.
records are huge.
I
now
like to
because-
find mine in garages or in the middle of fields, you know, just wherever.
Are you producing records, or have y'all?
No, I'm not.
you haven't-
I'm not pressing
you-
records
you
right
haven't
now.
print- you
I
need-
want to,
you need
but
to print some, man.
I want to wait until I've got.
Your catalog a little bigger.
I
or?
want to
Your
wait until
catalog's
I've got an
huge.
album that I want to go through. You got to jump through some hoops and do all kinds of stuff to actually get something put on a vinyl record. So,
I hear vinyl. There's a list so long to get your vinyl pressed right now that if you were to say, okay, yeah, I want to get the song never seen
it takes
with other
7 or
songs?
8 months.
at least or a year.
Yeah.
That's how far they're back with people who already have records.
So I've got in my mind, it's just why do something that's gonna end up being a year behind where you're at.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be ahead of that stuff, and that's a lot of people are. A lot of people are just sitting on their album, waiting until the product comes and then they release it, which is it's business, man. Smart. I just don't think that far ahead. I'm like, oh, I got an idea. Let's go.
Let's get a single out.
And
I know you're working on some new singles right now.
I still have another one from the batch that Never Seen was in. You know, I
Is that
call
where
them
Anywhere?
batches. That's Anywhere was in that batch
Yeah.
as well. But you know, man, it's constantly changing. And now this week, they want this, and this, and you know, last week was singles.
It's crazy
It
how
doesn't
this
matter.
business changed.
Doesn't matter what the topic is, it changes every week, and it's so fast.
Before we get into some of your road stories, I know you got some road stories.
Yeah, I think I got a couple I can share.
We can't say bus stories because not all of us are in buses.
No. I'm not in a bus. You know,
And I'm not in a bus either. I just drive one. Been driving them for about 5 or 6 years now, and man, the bus stories are horrible. People don't see them. They don't see the.
I like a van. Okay, you can't get in as much trouble in a van.
Oh yeah, you can.
No. See, you can only fit X amount of people in
Randall
a van.
King told me Maldo fell asleep at the wheel of a van, and they ended up in a ditch before, with the trailer on. I mean,
Yeah,
you can get a lot of trouble.
That'll do that. Well, see, I'm talking about different kind of trouble. That's you know, vehicle trouble. Like that, we're pretty
Yeah.
good on that.
Yeah,
I got to be
yeah.
honest. You know,
Knock on wood.
our driving records are good. Everybody's
Everybody's safe.
everybody's safe. Only a couple people are allowed to drive the van though, so
Right.
that's that keeps it. But you can't sneak somebody into the van. You
You can't have a party on the
can't
van.
have a
good
party
thing about
in the
it.
van,
Yeah, you can't have.
necessarily.
People are dying to get. That's one
Nobody's
thing.
dying to get in my van.
No, everyone's dying to get on a bus to party with the artists after the show on the bus, but no one. I've never seen anybody lined up to get on a van.
You jingle some keys, they're like, huh? Who wants to go get in my van?
Yeah.
Said no one ever.
Hey, do you want to sing another
Well-
one before we get into some of these stories, or do you have?
Yes. I'd actually love to play the.
We got time. I mean, if you're up for it, I mean, if you're not up for it, this is a podcast. We can do whatever we
Well,
want.
it's snowing outside. It's
I know
snowing
it.
in Waco, y'all.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
So
This is being recorded in February, and it's snowing in Waco,
So-
and it's going to be 80 next week.
This is the next song that I've been sitting on, and it's supposed to be going out like right now, but yeah, you get kind of tired of we need this, and this, and yeah, I just kind of took a step back. I was like, I'll put it out next, whenever that may be. I don't know. I'm just gonna upload it and send it out. Not gonna tell anybody. Not gonna promote.
So you don't even know when it's going to come out.
I have no idea when this is coming out. As soon as I can get back home and dig through a stack of pictures, because I already know in my head what I want the cover of it to be.
Album art.
Album art wise. I tried to write this song about 6 times, and it came out wrong every single time.
Huh.
Tried to write it by myself. Tried to, and what I had by myself in lyric and text was good. And it was there, and it was true, and everything was real. But every time I brought it up, it was too real for other people to write and get in on. So they didn't want, that's too real. I literally had multiple people tell me on different occasions, that's too real. And it's too
Close to home?
too
or?
close. I don't. This is what I grew up around.
You're a country boy.
I don't know anything else.
Don't pretend to be country. You are country.
It just-
you can't pretend to be
You
something
know, it's
you're
kind of
not.
funny. I laugh about it now. We were going to the mall when we were younger, you know, trying to get clothes to dress like everybody else
Right.
in town.
We did.
We did.
Because duct
And now
tape,
they're all dressing like us.
duct tape wasn't in fashion around your boot to keep it from laughing.
I
'Cause
took-
I used to have duct tape around my boot when I went to school because the thread on my boot broke and there's nowhere to get another one, and they would flat. But that's all I had to wear, so I put duct tape around there, and everyone said, "Oh, look at you with your duct tape."
When they came out with
But it worked.
Gorilla Glue, I thought I was in business, man. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm never going to have to put duct tape on my boot again. But song came out wrong every time. It's called The Countryside. And I wrote this with Adam Hood. And
Oh, wow.
we sat down and first time we had ever written together. And I said, man, I don't know why I feel like this would be a great time to throw this idea out at you. And this is what I've got. And, you know, I've tried to do this before. And I told him other songs just didn't turn out the same. And he said, well, move some things around. He said, well, you got half the song right there.
Huh.
He just took what I had already had and looked at for so long that I was just blind to what was in front of me. And he just...
Isn't that amazing how someone else can see something you can't?
Yep. And so that also goes back to who you surround yourself with.
Right.
Just a little drop in there, because I say stuff all the time that Jake Worthington, he'll say, hey, you need to write that down. And he'll, vice versa, he'll say stuff, and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to write that down for you, because he doesn't. But, you know.
I'll have to tell you my Jake Worthington story in a minute. But
Oh,
let's hear
I can't wait to call him and tell him.
Yeah.
This is called Countryside, and hopefully you'll hear it somewhere out there pretty soon. Ah! I'm going to do that again. I apologize, Josh. 1, 2, 1, 2. When people pass through, they call it nowhere. But there's plenty of help if you're stranded there. I've been living here all my life. Sure am grateful for my countryside. Early in April when the fields are green, it's like stepping straight into a magazine. But pretty don't mean it ain't a wild ride. It's another year down on the countryside. Well, my family settled here in '85. I buried my daddy by his mama's side, living on a land that'll take your life. I guess you never really make it out the countryside. It's the price of beef selling at the ring. Mama's losing babies and can't do a thing. Just selling off pieces to subdivide. It's another year down on the countryside. Well, my family settled here in '85. I buried my daddy by his mama's side, living on a land that'll take your life. I guess you never really make it out the countryside. Oh Lord, I know it's a hell of a life. And even when it's gone, I know I'll be alright. 'Cause I'll be here till the day I die. You won't ever take away, you can't take away my countryside.
Dude, that's going to be a hit record. You know, they're dumb for not being part of that, because that's going to be an anthem. That's going to be one of those that will be last for a while.
Your lips,
Jon Stork, by the way.
Your lips to God's ears, man. I just want the dinger in my truck to get shut off. So I hope you're right, and I can afford to go get that fixed and shut the dinger off in my truck. That's what I'm waiting for. People telling me, man, this song, that song, a lot of unreleased songs, and a lot of songs that I've gotten to write have been shared with a lot of people on mainstream radio right now, which is mind blowing to me. I wouldn't believed you if you would have told me that a year ago that they were going to send. I think I had 7 or 8 songs sent to some of the biggest people in country music right now, and I'm not signed. I don't have a deal with anyone.
You have a management?
I just got big angels.
Yeah.
No, I don't have management.
You don't?
No, it's my wife and I.
Just a record. Someone helps promote your records, or?
No, I have a radio promoting team, Generate Promotions out of Houston, and they're amazing. And Jen and Ray were. Jen was at my album release party for the first anything that I ever put out, 6 songs, and she's still with me.
But believe it or not, John, I've talked to a lot of people, and it's not always good to have a management who owns everything.
Oh, no.
You own everything. We were talking about that earlier.
And sometimes that's not always a good thing either. But,
you don't lease a bus. You own your van.
I'm very thankful.
You own the equipment in the trailer that you own.
Yes, sir.
And you don't owe anybody anything. Some of these artists owe their lives.
I owe a lot of people a lot.
Well, but you don't owe.
I didn't get here on my own for sure, but I'm not monetarily bound to anyone.
And that is huge in this business, because half the artists that we hear that we think are doing really well, they're doing really well because someone paid a lot of money.
It's because perception is reality.
That's it. And we were talking about that earlier off camera.
And I'm not...
Because how can a 16, 17-year-old write about a love song when he's never been in love,
It is what it is. And at the end of the day, if one person does well in this business, it's good for everybody, man. It's so crazy.
It just takes so long to resonate with folks. I don't know what it is. I mean, like Jake, we'll take Jake Worthington. You mentioned him earlier, and I'll tell you my story about Jake in a minute. But
one of my best friends.
Jake has got, and I told Jake in person, I said, dude, if Mark Chestnut and George Jones had a kid, it'd be you. He's got that old soulful sound. But why hadn't he had the bigger fame than where he is now? I mean, he's getting there now. Finally, now he's with Ernest and done some things with those guys. But it's taken Jake so long to get to where he's at. And it's been a hard road for him.
And it's not, I don't think it's easy for anyone. Unless,
But he did sign with
pop
Miranda's,
up overnight. But
Miranda's label, whoever that is.
Oh, yeah, man. Jake, look, again, I'd go, I don't say this about a lot of people, but I'd go to war with that guy.
Yeah. He's good as good. I mean, he's solid gold.
Hand down. But it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
And everybody's race is different, and everybody's path is different. And some people might pop off in 6 months after doing it for 6 months. Some people
takes years, man.
Takes years. Some decades.
The overnight success is not always overnight.
Hardly ever.
Even when and some of them are. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are, but those who are still are not. Mm-hmm. They're TikTok sensations. Which I'm not a TikToker.
Hey man,
I'm sorry. I just don't know how to get on.
People ask me, "You don't watch YouTube? You're not a." I grew up on dial-up.
Dude, I grew up on party lines.
No, hey, that's how my grandparents met. And if you don't know what a party line is, pick up your phone and Google it, because you can.
But that tells you how old I am.
Hey, don't age yourself. You're doing great, man. The thing about it is, I didn't grow up with that, so just my mentality is different when it comes to that stuff, and that can be a hindrance on one side or one wagon spoke of this whole thing that we're doing. But at the end of the day, I said it earlier, if we had all this stuff of the social media and everything, back then, how many of those artists that you grew up, that other people grew up with, that they found, that blew up, and that are Bob Dylan, or Chris Christopherson, or Johnny Cash. Let's just do this little.
Or Keith Whitley.
Or Keith Whitley.
Yeah.
If somebody
Keith
said, "All right,
Whitley.
Keith, you got to go out. You got to make a video a day." Do you think you ever would have heard of Keith Whitley?
Probably not. Because that's Williams is he'll William Clark Green, and he'll tell you this. He goes, "I didn't sign up."
I hope to see you sometime. Love you.
He
I
said-
hope your family's doing great.
He said, "I didn't sign up for this. I'm a songwriter, singer-songwriter. That's what I signed up for. I sing songs, I write songs. The cameras, the social media, he goes, I didn't sign up for this. I can't, it's hard for him to let cameras in his life because he's so personal. And he doesn't.
I'd rather share a moment with you than
Yeah.
a picture.
Yeah. A moment. That's why he lets people on his bus because, leave your phones in your pockets.
Oh, trust
folks.
me, I know.
Leave your phones in your pockets. Just
I-
come be here with me in this moment.
Yeah.
Don't be shooting film. We don't because
I don't remember a lot of the moments I spent on his bus, and that's probably why I ain't seen him in a little while. But yeah, I've changed my ways in some ways.
we all have.
But
we all have.
no, you're absolutely right. And that was he was one of the first guys to take me out of the state, and I remember that. But that was a moment. I don't have any pictures from that,
But you have memories.
but I remember
The memories
most of
will
it.
last longer than a photo.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I'll
every
lose
time.
that.
Every
I'll
time.
lose that picture, or
Well,
anyways.
let's talk about my moment with Jake Worthington.
Okay, yeah, I want to
We
hear
were
this.
in Steamboat Springs, Colorado this past year.
Oh, this was recent.
Just not even a month ago. I'm starting this new thing called Behind the Wheel with Alvacado. This is all brand new. This is still in works right now as we're even sitting here. And I have a handheld camera I take on the road with me. I call them Osmo 3. It's a cool little digital camera. It's a really nice camera. But I haven't really figured out exactly how to run it all yet. So I put it up there and point it towards Jake and I sitting on the couch upstairs. You ever been to Steamboat?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in the
Got
Grand.
engaged in Steamboat.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah.
At the Grand Ballroom, we're on the second floor, right there behind the fireplace, and there's this little area where a bunch of couches you can sit around. So we had the camera on the table sitting over there. I got him mic'd up. I got me mic'd up, and we sat down and we started talking. We did this interview for 30 minutes. Shook hands. He walked off, and then I interviewed a guy named Ty Smith, which Ty Smith is a beast for a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one who actually writes his songs too.
Yeah.
If you've never heard Ty Smith, you need to. I think
Okay.
you and him will get along real well. So I went to go back to watch that video. I ran out of film. So what happened was how I knew something was wrong at the end of the conversation because no one's looking at the camera. We're looking at each other doing this interview. Then I said, all right, Jake, well, tell everybody, look in the camera, tell everybody how to follow you on social media. He looked in that camera, and when we looked over there, it was black. There was no visual. And I didn't tell him. He went ahead, did his social media and all that.
Hey,
I already knew the camera had shut off.
I have to call him back after this.
I knew the camera had shut off because it was black. It didn't dawn on him.
I have to call him back after
So-
I leave here because I missed his call on the way here.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to
And
let
him know I need a rerun.
The
Up in
interview
here.
he did
Yeah.
in Steamboat by that fireplace. You're going to have to redo
The
that.
30-minute interview. I'm like, okay, so I don't know when this thing went black, so I went back to watch it. Dude, it went black the minute we started talking. Before the interview. I mean, we were just set up.
But you know what? Nobody else might be able to see that.
But
But you're going to remember sitting there talking to
oh
him.
man, me and Jake he hauled and we had
Yep.
a good time because I've been a Jake Worthington fan for years, and I've been your
Me
fan
too.
for years.
Oh, man, thank you.
And you've just really have blossomed and blown my skirt up. And,
Thank you.
And I think you have a huge career in this business. You know.
Man, like I said, your lips to God's ears. Because at this point, as long as I can take care of the girls, that's really all I care about.
So how many children do you have?
I've got one 2-year-old girl, at home, and
the wife.
And my wife. Yes.
Those
sir.
are the girls.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as I got them, we're good.
Any more on the way? Not yet.
It's really not up to me.
It's up to God.
I
huh?
thought I was good at this thing after the first one. Came to be in a matter of no time at all. I was like, I'm not going to start trying for the second kid until 1 year and 51 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, we're I think we're trying. We're trying. So yeah.
Be careful, man. You might have twins.
Don't
don't wish me the bad luck, dude.
hey. You might never see me on the road again if I have twins. She's gonna make me stay home, and I got one, and she's got the other one. But no, that's also been a joke.
Any hard road stories you want to share before we end this show here?
Man,
I mean, like breakdowns or anything that happened to you on the way? Or?
Oh golly, I mean we broke down. We run out of gas. If you're not following on social media and we leave, you're missing out because it's almost like a comedy show.
Oh, is it?
That's not syndicated or broadcast. It's pretty interesting, and like I said, it's all due to the people you surround yourself with, and that goes for the guys I have. They make it fun. Doesn't matter if we're running out of gas.
Oh yeah, we take a breakdown and make something funny out of
exactly.
it. Because we know something's going to happen. You're
It's
not going to be there
inevitable.
forever.
It's inevitable. Something's going to happen, and it's the only thing you can control when we leave is your reaction. That's it. But I think probably, and I just told this one not too long ago. If you're squeamish, I apologize. I don't know what to tell you to help that. We were playing a show northwest of Weatherford, somewhere up, cowboy country, and go out. We call it RockyTonk. So we're getting after it. People are having a good time. We're drinking, dancing. I turn around. We get to Windmill in the Dark, an older song that I still do a portion of, and all I hear in my ear is, I gotta go to the bathroom, and my bass player runs off stage. Well, it's a slow part in the intro, and it kind of builds up into the whole band coming in. Well, I'm up there singing the song, and I'm thinking, where did he go to the bathroom? Because there's no bathroom backstage. It was a little portable building for a green room, and and we parked the van next to it, and the bathroom was inside in front of us. Stage was outside, bathroom's inside, where we're facing, and he's in the back. I was like, I don't know. And we're getting closer and closer to the whole band just coming in at the same time. And without a beat, bass comes in. But he's not on stage. And I was like, all right, man, we're just going to keep on
took
playing.
his bass with him?
Yeah, the bass was with him. It was strapped to him. He couldn't get it off. It was on him.
It was on him.
And so he comes in right on time. And everybody on stage is looking at each other, kind of laughing, like, where's he at? What are we doing here? And he comes back on, comes into the microphone that everybody on stage can hear. He goes, thank God there was a tire back there. So he gets off stage. Couldn't find any toilet paper because there wasn't anything back there.
No, but there was a tire to sit
with
in.
his bass on, he reaches in the van, finds a box of Downy dryer sheets, found a tire, and didn't miss the song.
Made his own restroom.
He made his own restroom on the backside of the stage, in somebody's abandoned tire, and
Poor tire.
oh yeah. Oh, and I think the tire was still there the next time we drove through.
Oh yeah, we
And-
won't touch that tire.
Oh yeah,
again.
nobody touched the tire. Everybody just left it there. But yeah, thank God for that tire backstage, and everybody on stage just lost it.
Oh, I'm losing it now, and I wasn't even there. I'm there now. I
I
can see
think-
the tire.
I
Poor
think
tire.
I left the Downy sheets in the van just because, just in case.
So y'all bring down these sheets to the next Jon Stork show.
Yes, absolutely.
Just set a box right there by the bass player.
You never know when you're gonna need some dryer sheets.
It won't dawn on him until it dawns on him, and he's like, "Oh, that story must have got out somewhere."
We were actually, and last one, and then we can go or whatever. We were in Montana. We were on the road with Aaron Watson, and we had to go from Bozeman, Montana, to Boise, Idaho.
Oh, I've been on that
and
road.
I forget. Well, we didn't take that route. Not the route that you took. I promise you, we didn't take that route you took.
You know which route I took.
You took the better route.
I took the bus route.
You took the interstate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You took the back roads.
We took the back roads.
Oh, no.
And I think we left out at probably 12:30 or 1. Maybe it could have been later. I'm not sure. This is all a blur. But tour manager goes, we're going to take a back way. We're going to get there a little faster. It's going to shave off some time. I don't want to be worried about, getting stuck on the interstate over the pass. And
Famous last words of a
oh
fool.
my gosh, you couldn't be more right. We were in Yellowstone. We're traveling through Yellowstone. There's not a light. There's not a gas station. There's no power out there. You got nothing. You got the animals and you.
That's it.
That's it. And it's pitch black. And it was so cold when we left Bozeman, Montana, that there was already ice on the inside of the van windows.
That's a bad sign already.
And so we're going through. It was so cold that what they put down on the roads to melt the chemical mixture that they spray the
Right.
roads with,
Brian,
sure, wasn't melting it. It was just getting thicker. And then they spread ice on it, or they spread salt on the ice. Well, all the animals came out of the woodwork
to lick the
to
salt.
lick the salt off the roads. So I'm driving through somewhere in Yellowstone. I look up, and there's a literal herd, like a migration
Of elk.
of elk
Oh,
on the
wow.
road. And when I say big angels, I mean it in every sense of however you can think about it, because a passenger van with 7 or 8 of us in it,
Pulling a trailer.
pulling a 16-foot trailer loaded all the way down, somehow made it through a herd of elk. And when I say there was one that I just locked eyes with, we connected. We were that close. She was standing broadside in the middle of the road. This giant elk, as big as a horse.
Oh, yeah. They're huge.
Bigger than the horse that I had.
Yeah, they're huge.
She's just standing there sideways looking.
Like, what are you doing here?
The van and trailer were in opposite directions when
Oh, yeah.
I just tried to swerve a little bit because we're in Yellowstone. There's no cell service, no lights. If we crashed, we were all probably going to have to sleep in a pile just to try to survive.
It's like a survival kit. You have to
It was-
don't
it was
travel
that
through there
cold.
without a survival kit
it
of
was
some sort.
that cold. And so, man, I have no idea. But that
made
van
it.
and trailer flexed, and I felt it do it on the road. And then the guy we had sitting in the far back goes, "The trailer's going the wrong way." And I'm not even joking. We just whoop, went straight around that elk, and I looked in the mirror, and she's still, I saw just
Perfect.
in the tail lights, she's still just standing there.
Because you don't want to hit an elk. Not because you don't want to hit an elk, because you don't
You
want
don't
to kill
want to
an
hit
elk.
a cow. You don't want to hit a horse. You
It's-
don't want to hit an elk.
No, they're
huge.
They're the worst things, man. Total everything else.
Yeah. So that was
And
probably.
you still didn't save any time on that run.
Oh no! And no! We didn't save any time.
You're probably an hour late.
We had to go slower because the ice was 4 inches thick on the
Exactly.
road.
Exactly.
And they got there the same time we did the next morning. We drove through the night, and they pulled in, and we're
Same.
there at the same time. And so yeah, we don't
Next
take
time,
the back
follow
way.
the bus.
Yeah, we're following the bus from now on. We don't take the back way anymore.
I get it. My tour managers get on my rear all the time. Where are you taking me? Where are you taking me? Because we get them into a city, but I'm taking a loop around it, And they go, where are you going? My thing says you need to go straight. I said, well, you're using a car app.
Yeah.
And I'm using a Garmin that's for a truck app. I said, there's reasons why I'm going around because there might be a bridge that it's 12 foot or lower because we're 13.2, 13.3. So we have to watch for low bridges and stuff like that. And our weight, we're pretty heavy. And so one time we were, I don't know where we were, but my tour manager with William says, no, we're going to go straight. We don't have time to go around town. Sure enough, man, we get to this place where it was a bridge that was not even 12 foot tall. And I'm like, and I can't back out because it's heavy traffic both ways. I'm like, so now what? Can't go forward, can't go backwards. It goes, well, luckily there was a construction site right here beside us, and I just backed up a little bit, put my hazards on, because what are you going to do, hit a bus that's backing up? No, if you're going forward in the car, you're not going to hit a bus backing up. So I backed up a little bit and then kind of.
Be surprised these days.
I know. There was a couple that honked at me, but come on. I'll take a honk, but I got to get out of this situation. But so I got out of it. But there's a couple times that, they think it's faster, but it's actually faster if you go around.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to slow down.
Oh, I'll be going around Yellowstone Park from now on. I can tell you that much.
John, how can people follow you on social media, man?
Wherever they're at. Wherever you're at, that's where I'm at. Facebook, Instagram. I think the only thing I don't have at this point is a MySpace. But hey, again,
who has MySpace?
It came back.
Did it
I'm
really?
telling you.
Oh my
We've
gosh.
only said it a few times. It doesn't go out of style. It just comes back around. That's it. That's right. Said it right. So
Finally, at the end of the show.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and I think I'm just kind of gonna move in the direction of post some more videos of all these songs.
Yeah, YouTube is where it's at, man. That's where this is at.
Yeah, YouTube for the songs that I haven't gotten to release,
Right.
that I really wanted to release, but just somehow didn't make the cut over this song or that song or
Right.
whatever. I've got a backlog for 10 years of songs that people haven't heard. So
This
I'm
show-
gonna start putting those out.
This show is like you. It's at YouTube at Jim at Behind the Wheel with Alvacado, man. It's gonna be episode with Jon Stork.
I love
can't
it.
wait to watch
Man,
it. I like
likewise.
watching you watching us.
Hey, no,
That's what
man,
people
it's
say.
just part. That's part of it, and so yeah, I'm gonna put up some more of those acoustic videos. It's gonna be pretty similar to this, and I'm just gonna actually less than this. I'm just gonna go out and I'll have a mic and go record acoustic videos of songs that I think might connect with whoever.
And we're gonna follow you over there. Y'all go watch him, get him to a show, and you got to go see him do some of these songs live, man.
Yeah.
They put on a heck of a show.
Come on.
Jon Stork, thank you for coming in this morning.
Man,
or
thanks for
whenever.
having me, Jim.
I don't know what time it is, day, night.
It's
snowing, that's for sure.
It's lunchtime, but it's snowing outside, and we're in Texas, so we're not really sure what's going on. But thanks
Well,
for having me, man.
Best of luck to you, man. I can't wait to hear what you got coming up next.
Been awesome.
On the
Thank
road
you.
there. Jon Stork, everybody. And that wraps up another edition of Behind the Wheel with Alvacado. We'll see you down the road.
Thanks for joining us for Behind the Wheel with Alvacado with your host, Jim Alvarado. Behind the Wheel was produced by Josh Beard, Mason Gonzalez, and Mike Hamilton for Rogue Media Network. Guests' opinions are those of their own and do not reflect the views of Rogue Media Network or Jim Alvarado. If you have a suggestion for guests, please reach out to hello@roguemedianetwork.com. Join us again next time and be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you down the road.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.